You all boleh nampak clear tak? Kecil sangat.
Nampak je, sir.
Nampak Okey, alhamdulillah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Okay, guys, we are going to enter the final topic for the semester, and the topic is on judicial process and lawmaking, week 13. So hopefully we will be able to cover the area today, and for next week we will be having our classes like normal, but you are not it is not compulsory for you to attend. You can come in and you can ask question. I'll be online. You can ask question if you want to. You can discuss with me on certain issues, on certain slides, or certain cases, or anything that regards to jurisprudence, juris tu. By all means, you can do that. Tutorial pun kita on macam biasa. You are not forced to come to the class. So I don't want that to you come and wasting your time just because of the attendance. I hate that. But you can come in, and if you want to listen to other people's discussion or questions, you can by all means do so. Boleh tak kita buat style macam tu? I will be continuing my classes as usual. It is compulsory for me to conduct, but for you guys, not compulsory for you to attend. Right? Kalau tak ada siapa pun tak apalah. I duduk je lah. Tunggu siapa-siapa yang nak masuk. You know? Kalau lecture or tutorial, I'll be opening up the session, and you can come in and join. Yeah. And if you want to leave at any time, you can do so. And it's not forcing you to stay for the whole 1 hour or 2 hour. Okay. Now looking at this particular area, kalau kita tengok word cloud, dia panggil ni is word cloud. Kalau kita tanya orang kan, when it comes to certain issues or certain opinion of people, this is what we call word cloud. I think you are familiar yourself with this word cloud, because input of everyone goes into this so-called presentation, and most likely is the judiciary that comes out. And if the judiciary is one of the area that is important for us to look at, in terms of law, what we need to do is to look at the perspective of jurisprudence when it comes to judiciary. Okay, macam mana? What is the opinion of juries towards the judicial system? What is the role of the judiciary? To what extent that they have to do things and things like that. In specific, before this we learn macam American rallies. We're looking at certain group of people, how they see things. But today what we'll be doing is to go through all of them before and try to fit them into the topic, which is judiciary. Okay, any questions so far? You can ask me questions if you want to. Saya boleh tak jawab. You are supposed clear. Sepatutnya automatic, sorry. Okay, right. Let's move on to the second slide. Kalau you tengok second slide ni, our lecture today is going to be looking at two areas, judicial process and judicial lawmaking. And in order for us to look at judicial process and judicial lawmaking, there will be two areas that we will be focusing ourselves with. Theories of adjudication, and we look at the role of judiciary. Meaning, first, we look at the theory concerning judicial process and judicial lawmaking. And secondly, we are looking at the practicality or the implementation of those theories within the judiciary itself. Okay, remember we are focusing on the judiciary as the main topic of the our concentration of study. Boleh nampak guys? Okay, first we will be looking at the theories and then we will be looking at the second part, which is the role of the judiciary. So let's jump into the first process of the judiciary theories. Before that, you know very well when it comes to law, the most important component of the law would be the ability for the law to bring up justice. Betul? Agree kan? Law kalau dia tak boleh bring justice, there is no meaning to the law. Macam kalau kalau Aquinas kata lex injusta non ex lex. Unjust law is not law. Okay, so let's look at the judiciary punya perspective, how they are to utilize the law in order to bring justice to people. Now, first question that I want to ask you: what is your opinion of an act? Is it perfect or otherwise?
Not perfect, sir.
Not perfect, eh? Anyone who says that the law that we create are perfect, it is up to your opinion. It's okay. Kalau you tengok dalam chat, can you put in your chat perfect or not? Not perfect. Ada yang kata perfect. There's a lot of loopholes. Not perfect. For those Muslim, what would be a perfect law?
Quran.
Al-Quran, very good. Yeah. For those Christians, your perfection is coming from the Bible, right? So Bible is perfect. You have to assume that you have to, as a believer of that religion, we have to believe in our scriptures. So our scriptures is perfect. The issue whether it is medal or not is not an issue. Okay, you have to take in verbatim lah, whatever provision that is being provided. So whatever laws that is coming from our scriptures are considered as perfect laws because it is reflecting what God wants us to do. But when it comes to a human act, yeah, the acta, the statute that we have, they are not perfect. Yeah, they are not perfect because you know that the ability for us to study law is the ability for us to question the law, right? So being lawyers, our task is to argue and uh, we are to argue, we are to disagree with the provision of the law because we know for the fact that the law is not perfect. And for that matter, we can make a living because the imperfection of the law, we can utilize the imperfection of the law to our advantage, yeah, to our client advantage. Because whenever you have a lacuna, the ambiguity is there, the loopholes are there, so you can utilize the loopholes in order for you to win your client, and the client will pay you a big sum of money, right, for you helping them to win their case. So in a way, it's a good for the law, which is not perfect because it helps us in making our money. Yeah, hopefully to you lah. I am not a lawyer, so I just teach. Yalah, in a way, my existence is because the need for you guys to be able to equip yourself to utilize the ambiguities of the law. Okay, so let's look at the theory of adjudication, meaning uh, in order for a judge their job, right? What are the theories that might control them, yeah, or is suggested by juries for the judges to follow? Okay, so we have to analyze whenever we go to court later on. Whenever you go to court later on, to practice, not to be a party to the summon or anything. When you are going to the court as a lawyer, you want to be able to look at the judge and see, yeah, what would be the perspective of the judge whenever he or she comes up with a solution to the problem that is being brought to their court. So this is by virtue of the theory that you are learning today, hopefully some of them, right? And then you are able to link it up to the experience that you are going to go through when you finish your study, yeah, when you are a lawyer later on. Maybe perhaps in the next 3 years or so, you'll be practicing, and then hopefully then you should appreciate more the theory of education. But for the time being, it is introduced to you for your knowledge, for your understanding. You might not be able to recall them, but you are aware that there are certain what they call it, certain views of the judges. Judges, they are not the same. They are human beings. They are going to be inclined towards certain jurisprudential argument, right? If they were to do that, they don't declare that I'm going to use Austin, I'm going to use Carlson, going to use Hart, I'm going to use for juries to mark and things like that, right? They don't declare that. It is not their duty to declare. However, you can read between the lines, and you are able to anticipate and somehow orang kata orang kata the probability of the judges to be inclined of that particular thinking of jurisprudential thinking. It is a good thing for you to have, to know, or to evaluate, because you want to utilize that in order for you to win your cases. So kalau you pergi that is where kita nampak, I bagi contoh kita pergi mahkamah syariah. Kalau you pergi mahkamah syariah, you go online ke mana-mana ke, you pergi physically, you will see people wearing clothes that is Islamic in nature. Okay, yang perempuan yang tak pernah pakai tudung, you know, even though they covered, macam, you know, pakai ikat-ikat, you know, but they covered their hair, you know. And then the lelaki that akan pakai ketayap atau kepiah, you know, that type of reflection. Why? Because you want to reflect the ability to influence the decision of the judges that is going to hear your case. Okay, so you want to be presentable. You don't want to be in a manner that is going to invoke a certain certain reaction, negative or positive, to the judges. So understanding the theory would be able for you to analyze the judges that you will face later on, and to understand what are the basis of these judges. Judges kadang-kadang kalau they stick to that particular jurisprudential perspective, dia akan jadi macam tu sampai dalam semua cases yang dia kena decide. Kalau dia dah positivist, dia akan jadi positivist. Kalau dia naturalist, dia akan jadi naturalist. Okay, dia tak berubah-ubah sangat. So in order for us to do some understanding of our judges, we have to know about the theory of education. Apa berkenaan dengan Star Wars ni? Here you must unlearn what you have learned. Yeah? We look at the theories in order for us to understand things better. Before this, we understand things because it was told to us. It was what we read, you know, what was told to us, or we read. These are the things that influence us, yeah, in order for us to have a perception about certain issues, especially when it comes to this about the what they call it, the judiciary. So theories are like that. Yeah, is something that is non-existent, something that is futuristic, something that is what we need to do. Macam Star Wars, right? Is something that we are looking into the future that that is intangible. Kita tak nampak benda tu ada, tapi it is something that we have to learn. Kalau dalam Star Wars sekalipun, kalau you tengok konsep Star Wars, it is based on a theory that the truth will prevail. Whenever you have apa orang kata, the villain, or the people who the fight between just and unjust, the fight of justice, we can see in the in Star Wars. Because Star Wars, there are the philosophy or theories that works behind it. Dia kata at the end of the day, somebody will come to save the day. Yeah. So dalam Star Wars, looking at, they are still waiting for that person, the real Jedi, to be able to save, to correct everything. Okay. Uh, Kalau Han Solo, dia selalu kata, never seems to be a Death Star lying around when you need one. Meaning, what he's trying to say is that Death Star are very powerful things. Yeah, Death Star can even destroy planets. So when it comes to Death Star, it has its capability, right? Destroying universe, but destroying planets. So similar, we can look at the law. Yeah, the law here is considered as very powerful tool in order for you to use, in order for you to find justice or to get solution to your problem that you are going to face later on, or you or your clients. But obviously, if you're looking at the Death Star being so powerful, it is also at the same time vulnerable. Okay, but this is where, if you look at Star Wars, Death Star is being destroyed because it has its vulnerability. So the same thing when it comes to law, law have lacuna which is vulnerable for that particular law. And in order for us to look at the vulnerability of the law, because law is imperfect, so in order for it to be perfect, we have to change the law, we have to amend the law, or we have to remove the law altogether in order for us to discover a new law that is more just. Yeah. So we have this person, Gloria Stenion, saying that law and justice are not always the same. When they aren't, destroying the law may be the first step of towards changing it. Yeah, you might be the one like what I put here as the Death Star being destroyed. We will be able to replace with a better one. That will be able to do or function uh, to be better, to be able to macam kita tengok ISA, yeah, we destroy ISA in order for us to have SOSMA, in order for us to get more justice. Whether we are going to get more justice or not, that is subjective lah. Okay, it is about the test whether SOSMA is even worse than ISA. But draconian laws is to be looked into that. Law has to be developed, evolve, yeah, from time to time. In order for us to look at the theory of judging or judgment of the judges, we look at the prescriptive, descriptive, and normative. Okay, this is the three area that we are going to look into. Prescriptive is to prescribe. Prescribe maksudnya apa? Prescribe, to inform, to tell others, yeah, uh, to say something about what you want to them to do, to prescribe. Kalau prescribe ni dia seolah-olah macam apa? Is ke ought? If you look at prescriptive, kalau you pergi klinik, you are being prescribed apa ubat. Apa maksud prescriptive in terms of jurisprudence yang you boleh relate to? Is ke ought? Beza prescriptive dengan descriptive. Descriptive is to describe. Prescriptive is to inform, to be able to go further than description. Jadi is dengan ought, apa, juris 1 you dah belajarkan is dengan ought kan? Yang mana yang positivist, yang mana naturalist? Guys, Adriana? Anyone? Adriana, you rasa macam mana? Oh, ada orang tanya. Prescriptive, positivist? You mentioning siapa yang prescriptive? Okay, kita minta semua semua type in lah, senang. Nobody wants to suara dah mas sangat, tak nak sembang kan. Okay, kita prescriptive is more odd, yeah. Alright, lagi? How about others? Benny kata prescriptive is more toward odd. Descriptive? Or your opinion about it? You don't have to agree with Benny, yeah? You know, this is what we want to do. You have to have your own opinion, and your opinion does not have to be in line with the other person. Tak sure. Okay, good answer. Tak sure. Right. The rest? Tak pasti. Okay. Prescribe. Bila I prescribe you macam mana nak apa, kalau you pergi doktor, prescriptive means that the doctor is prescribing you, memberi you satu solution by virtue of his or her opinion of your sickness that you are suffering. So kalau you jumpa Dr. A, dia akan bagi prescription X. Kalau you pergi Dr. B, you mungkin dapat prescription Z. You know, different people describe different different opinion. So that is basically, kalau prescriptive is actually bukan dini. Prescriptive is more towards what apa Vini kata, which is odd, yeah, which is natural perspective. Okay, the natural perspective, but naturalist dia odd kan. Dia kata dia are very subjective. Pula dah tadi preskriptif pun dah pening dah, dia buat keluar pula subjektif. Subjektif is you can do, because subjektif I kata tadi Dr. A bagi X, Dr. B bagi Z. So it depends on people. So it differs from one person to another. Meaning it is something that is subjective in nature. Kalau descriptive is just to describe. You cannot describe something that is different from what it is. Okay, so kalau lah kita tengok from the jurisprudential punya perspective, descriptive means on the positivist punya nature, which is the is group. It is what it is. You cannot say otherwise. Kalau you kata cater is cater, you cannot kata cater to donkey. You know, a cater is cater. You know, you can slightly differ about the cater being cater sport ke, cater biasa ke, cater sedan ke, cater van ke, but cater is still cater. Yeah, this is more of a descriptive nature. You are only to describe. Okay, you cuma buat describe. Yeah, descriptive meaning describe. So you are very objective. You are very straightforward. So orang yang juris yang dengan deskriptif ni, dia adalah apa, juris yang kita panggil positivist. Okay, positivist kalau Austin, Hart, you know, they are very straightforward. Okay. Tapi kalau kita tengok prescriptive ni is more general. Yeah, they can interpret things differently, and then they see things more subjective. You know, it can be either A or B or C. So that is on the odd. So normally odd ni kita nak equate odd ni kepada naturalist lah. Naturalist dia kan, it can be different in terms of universal standard, you know, things like that. And then normative is based on the based on the society itself. Okay, what is norm to that particular society? If that is a normalization of that society over certain issues, that is what we call normative. So kalau kita nak tengok Josh, dia ni seorang preskriptif ke, deskriptif ke, normatif? That is the question that must be in your mind whenever you face a judge. Whether this judge ni kita boleh classify dia as prescriptive, descriptive ataupun normative. Okay, that would be able for us to understand the judge even further, and you are to be able to analyze the outcome of the decision yang dia akan buat over your case. Okay, it is important for us to know the judge. The judge don't declare themselves, as I already mentioned earlier. This is something that you have to find, and this is the something that people of jurisprudence like to question. Judges ni dia orang buat decision based on what? Is it based on their own? If they are making it based on their own, what type of angle that they are coming from? Are they coming from the naturalist point of view? Are they coming from the positivist point of view? Are they coming from even the normative point of view? So this is where the junction where we are to look at each one of them. So all the slides bawah ni is trying to take you to go into that particular group of judge yang kita classify as either prescriptive, descriptive or normative. Any questions so far? This is important before we go into the theory. Ada question? About judges, so far selama ni saya rasa judges dia orang sepatutnya kena be in line with doctrine of binding judicial precedent, what else are the doctrines yang ada that mengikat these judges. So I thought all this while we are learning about that. No, we are looking at the internal, the mind of the judges. Okay, in order for us to evaluate the mind, we look at the judgment yang dia buat. Previous judgment, bukan the current judgment lah. Current judgment for you maybe to understand. But if you look at that particular judge, decision yang dia buat, on what basis of jurisprudential perspective yang dia tengok. Itu penting untuk kita understand. Because kalau you tengok judgment that is being made by judges, they can differ. Obviously from judge A and judge B and judge C over the same matter differs. They can come up even within one case. We have like the federal court case, ada 5 orang judges, that the 5 of them might not agree to see the thing or to come up to a conclusion that unanimously of representing the 5 of them. Mungkin kita ada 3 against 2. Okay, kalau 3 against 2, apa yang this 3 is holding in terms of their jurisprudential punya perspective, apa yang in their mind, and then the other 2 macam mana. So understanding people is very, very important for you to be in this business, in this nature of work, where you have to do analyzation of the judges. So kita ada teori lah, you tak boleh nak analyse without theory kan. You will only be able to analyse someone with the foundation of theory, because theory is how we are to look at that particular thing. Okay guys, so far okay? Any questions that you want to ask?
No, sir.
Tak dengar. Ada buka 100% lah. Okay guys? Ada
Okay,
tak?
sir.
So far okay alright. Okay, ini is a good foundation for us to go into. Let's look at the first one. Ni just to give you some description of what the description. Bila I kata description tu, I'm not referring to descriptive-nya. This is just to inform you about the concept that I already mentioned, the one tadi ya. It is a conceptual category where it distinctively judicial factors that shape adjudication. Meaning, kalau dia buat keputusan, mahkamah, kalau hakim buat keputusan, macam mana kita nak understand that judgment tu? Dia mesti by virtue of concept. That concept must be from theory. Okay, that concept in order for us to understand is based on theory. Priority of judicial role in constitutional adjudication, constitution makers have provided for judicial review for legislative act. Meaning, kalau you tengok judges punya role when it comes to their active role, okay, but kalau you tengok lower courts, judges are not that active. Dia cuma tengok case, whether that particular person based on evidence salah ke tak, terus dia buat decision. And tak ada banyak kupasan yang akan dilaksanakan oleh judges yang dekat bawah-bawah dalam magistrate court, dalam session court, because they have tons of cases that they have to undergo. So di situ susah kita nak tengok how judges are to how you are to analyse the judges in terms of their mind. Tapi kalau you tengok dekat high court, kalau you tengok court of appeal, kalau you tengok the superior court lah ya, kalau you tengok federal court especially, you akan nampak the judicial role tu. Apa peranan yang dimainkan oleh judges when it comes to decision making. In order for us to tahu peranan apa, kita nak tengok apa yang dia tengah fikir. So kita boleh indicate di mana kita berada. Kalau you are the one that is bringing your case to the superior courts, you more or less can gauge based on the history of that particular judge. So the theories conform with each other rather than compete with each other. Meaning, if you were to learn the theories that I will introduce to you later, they are not in against each other. Meaning, one judge can flip from one theory or from one perspective of jurisprudential to another. Dia boleh ubah dia punya mindset. Okay, so they are there to be able for you to use to analyze everything. So it is considered as a good tool for us to understand, and they are conforming each other because you can utilize them together rather than separately. Okay, theory is an approach for discipline of study of courts and judges. Yalah. Yeah, as already mentioned, we want to study the court and judges. How do they deliver their role ataupun deliver their task? Political science, sociology, law, and political philosophy. These are a group of people that is studying judges punya role. Bukan kita saja, kita under law. So law, we have to study the judges under jurisprudence. I think you don't study judges other than jurisprudence. Okay, especially jurisprudence 2. We have this particular topic that talks about how to understand court and judges. Tapi dalam sociology and political science, FSPPP, kalau kita tengok dekat Seremban, one of the syllabus that they have is also to study the courts and judges. Okay, social science, dekat UKM. Okay, if you are a student of sociology, you'll also be studying courts and judges. And then political philosophy, if you study philosophy, then one of the area of philosophy will be political, and that political scope yang you ambil, you akan belajar how the role of judges and the courts that within the country, yeah, what is their function and so on. So Alan, you can stop me at any time in order for you to clarify. Next bullet is judicial power seems to have expanded considerably. Susah lah kadang-kadang saya ni syashul tak apa you excuse me so it differs it expand. Why it differs and expand? Because the nature of the role of judges is expanding. Why? Because the law is moving so fast, and the legislator cannot cope with the development of the law, because human activity dia semakin hari semakin laju. Ya, you perasan tak kalau hari ni kita duduk kat rumah, Allah, habis dah satu hari, tak ada sempat buat apa. You know, time is very fast. Not to say that time is moving faster, but the technology, the phase of life is very fast. So the law cannot cope. And when you talk about this particular law that is being promulgated ataupun created, it's going to be a very lengthy time. Kadang-kadang setahun. You know, macam baru ni MCQ, apa kita nak lockdown kan. AG pun minta 1 week in order for them to really study. Obviously, kalau you kerja kat AG, memang you tak balik malam lah. Memang you kena study because you have to come up with a law that suit everything. Contoh, kalau MCO ni, kalau you restrict people from going out, how do you know petrol station mana yang buka, petrol station mana yang boleh yang kena tutup? Kalau you kata you tutup, macam mana impact to the society? Semua. Kalau you kata instruct them to tutup pukul 10. Habis kalau orang yang dekat ada emergency, nak keluar pakai kereta, tak sempat nak panggil ambulans, dia nak naik kereta, dia nak isi minyak, tak ada minyak. So how are you going to overcome that? So everything has to be analysed. Okay, kita tak boleh just simply kata we come up with the law and that law is going to be implemented thoroughly and effectively. Tak boleh because the nature of law is like that. Dia memang ada impurities. Dia memang ada lakuna. Okay, for example, isu pakai mask waktu dekat petrol station. Waktu dekat you punya tempat isi minyak ke ataupun the moment you keluar kereta, the moment you isi minyak ataupun the moment you pergi dekat kaunter dekat luar, the moment you masuk dalam kedai petrol station, which one? You kena pakai sentiasa dalam kereta ke? So that has to be clear. Pemakaian mask di mana, macam mana, apa material, you know, those are the things that nitty-gritty has to be there. Otherwise, you are opening the floodgate and therefore it will be attacked. And when it is attacked, people either attack in law by virtue of going to the court, or maybe the society will reject altogether. Because terlampau banyak law sangat, orang pening, orang tak tahu. Okay, so you don't want to create law that is going to create ambiguities. Yeah, so here judicial punya role is expanding every now and then. Okay, so kita tengok judicial the ability for the judiciary to enhance their role, especially kalau kita tengok kalaulah judiciary is not able to settle a certain problem, the problem will persist. And kalau you nak harapkan legislature to come out to settle the problem, mampu ya. Legislator would not do things. They are politicians. They don't like to come up to give solution to the society. Society kalau duduk dalam masalah lagi dia orang suka. They like us to be in problem. They like to be there because they want to gain all the perks as a politician. Itu sahaja. They are not really wanting to do good to the society. Kononnya parti ni lagi bagus dia ada parti, kononnya dia Islamik, konon dia ni DAP komunis, PAS Islamik, UMNO kafir, you know, things like that. Semuanya sama. Okay. Semalam my wife tunjuk kat myself Chief Minister of Penang, kereta dia 500,000 Mercedes Benz, 500,000. Come on man, if you are a politician, you know that the money is very important. Why do you have to have a car that amounts to 500,000 just because you are Chief Minister? Come on man, grow up. Okay? The money is to be used for the society. It belongs to the society. We, the taxpayer, pay you the money that you force us to pay, right? In order for you to use that money for the benefit of the society. It's not for the enjoyment of your position. that is where the judiciary must come in, because if you leave everything for the legislative dengan executive, they will corrupt the whole thing. Okay, as what one of the laws, I think it's not law Akin, I think law Akin, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So this is the situation where the role of judges must be enhancing themselves. They must be expanding their role into the rule making. For example, I nak bagi just one example that you are mostly aware of. Kalau lah kata Lord Atkin dalam Donahue Simonson tak keluarkan neighbor principle, then obviously we are having the same problem until today. Because if you were to leave the legislative to come up with law, it is so taxing, and then on top of that, the law evolve, so dia tak sempat nak kejar tau. So legislative punya kerja ni, dia orang banyak sangat dia kena buat, because that is not their nature. They want to enjoy and they want to blame the other party, whenever the bill is being presented, engkau tak guna, engkau jahanam, things like that. That is the role that they want to do. They don't want to give solution. Banjir, mampuslah you all duduk dalam banjir. So what? That is act of God. Salahkan Tuhan. Semua kan salahkan Tuhan. Yeah? And then orang mati, tengok budak tu mati kerana dia tolong. Where are the rescuers? Kalau you dah tahu this one is every year akan jadi benda yang sama, why you are not prepared? Kalau you kata, you cannot prepare because this thing, no. You cannot say that you are not prepared because benda ni dah 40 tahun dah banjir. Then what are the things that you have done? It's getting worse and worse. If the cause you tak cari, the remedy you tak cari, all you want to do is to do a showcase. Everyone ada semua turun padang, tunjuklah ini, buatlah ini, ronda dengan air, tunjuk kata we are concerned. Come on man, that is not the thing that we have to do. As politician, you cannot rely on them. As judicial, we are the one who knows the law. We have to do our part. You become the judges later on, you have to do your job. Okay? Because we cannot rely on these people. They do not want to do the job. So kalau kita tengok Donahue intervention, because of that neighbor principle, it solved a lot of our issues. Everywhere in the world, the same principle is being applied, and is a, kalau lah kata Lord Akin tu kita anggap dia ataupun kita tengok from the perspective of Muslim, not to say that he is not Muslim if he believe in one God, but if orang selalu kata, kalau lah kata orang Islam ni dia buat benda yang boleh orang pakai satu dunia, pahala dia akan dapat sampai bila-bila, because selagi benda tu dipakai. Kalau lah Wright brothers are Muslim, they are going to benefit all the things that pahala sampai kiamat for people, for introducing something that is good for the society. So you have the role to do justice to people, and whenever justice is being done by you to the society, as long as it remains in the society, uphold in the society, you are going to get all the benefits. Yeah, you are pleasing God in a way. Yeah. Okay, dah jadi ceramah agama pula. Super rush bila tengok things that is happening. Okay, democracies have faced growing how do you pronounce this? The judicialization. So meaning we want to empower the judiciary to be even more dynamic. Yeah, we as the society, we use democracy in order for us to empower the judges to be more proactive, be more able for them to be the problem solver. Because kalau kita tengok a case of penggunaan nama Allah that have to go through federal court, okay, so those are the things that the parliament doesn't want to solve this issue. Okay, they just ignore. And whenever we have problem of conversion, murtad and things like that, they don't want to handle this. They just let the courts to handle this, and the court is empowered because of the lack of confidence of the legislative to do their job, and they have already passed to the judiciary. Now the judiciary have to perform, and the empowerment is being given because people want justice to be enhanced every now and then. For example, abortion, then judicial intervention by certain countries, in example US, Roe and Wade, and then we have issues about LGBT, those are the things that is within the current society that the society is facing, and they want solution. They want a logical solution, not an enforcement that people are to say otherwise. If you let the society akan gaduh, because that is what they want. Pun they nak society in a limbo, so they can easily control your the society. But if the society is at peace, therefore, it has to be by virtue of certain rules or certain decision that is being made, and that decision can come either from the judiciary or from the legislative, which is missing lah. So nampak tak decision in the case of abortion, with the issue of abortion in US is settled setakat ni lah Roe and Wade. And then we have situation of government separation of power, and this separation of power, obviously you learn from uh, apa Consti 1 and 2 is about something that we have to have in order for us to make sure that justice is be able to deliver to the society. Because if you allow only certain group of people, executive, say for example, a dictator, tobat tak akan dapat justice. Kalau you tengok North Korea, memang tak ada justice. Kalau you tengok Russia, tengok China, okay, kalau nak harap China development, memang nampak development of China is even better than US. But we are looking at not development, we are looking at justice. Okay, if you're looking at justice, they are way behind. Okay, because they don't allow people to say macam apa sekarang ni, siapa yang missing ni, Jack Ma is missing kan. If you look at the billionaires of Chinese, the billionaires jawab dua je, either you are going to go into jail or you're going to be murdered, so that is where the control over how the society is to behave in a draconian, in a very archaic, very apa kata, macam Tuhan you are the emperor, therefore you can decide whether orang tu hidup or mati, so we need separation of power. We have to have separation of power in order to make sure that those people are not doing all those kind of things. Oh, meeting. I need to move kejap my wife ada meeting, so I have to go somewhere else. For the time being, ada question that you want to ask?
Assalamualaikum sir, saya ada question.
Salah, yes.
Macam kita cakap pasal the judiciary and its role in intervening. However, macam what do you think about the Malaysian approach where we use hands a lot?
The apa? Apa yang kata? The apa?
We use macam
The apa? Apa ni? Amir ke siapa? Sorry, kejap. Allah, dia nak simple pula batu ni. Allah. You saying? Betul lagi? Allah, hilang terus. Guys?
hello sir.
Okay, good. Yeah.
The question was,
Naim, sorry.
we're talking about how the judiciary should intervene to promote justice lah, basically.
Yeah.
Tapi another aspect of it ataupun another approach, Malaysian approach, is that we like to use macam censorship ataupun bans. Macam in the cause of freedom of speech, we like to ban certain cartoonists, we like to ban certain movies, certain books, because whatever reason. And usually this doesn't go to court. They usually just stuck at the ministry level. The minister said, oh, this is censored ataupun this is banned, you cannot
Betul.
view this. So what is your opinion, sir, on this kind of matter? Why is the judiciary not intervening to promote freedom of speech for the sake of discussion, the sake of dialogue in the society?
Okay, good question. The thing is that we have to look back at our federal constitution. The empowerment of the judiciary is only to settle disputes. They are not there to come to meddle with the other groups punya purview. So executive punya purview is to implement the law. Legislative is to create the law, right? Each one of them is having their own scope of duty. So if, say for example, you let the judiciary to come and meddle with the scope or duty of the executive or legislative, then they are out of focus. We can say that they are Asra virus lah, in a way. So only they can argue or they can implement in terms of their interpretation of justice, because everyone's interpretation of justice is different. Okay, if you look at Mahathir, Mahathir dia memang kuku besi lah, in a way lah, in a way that we can say that he is in that particular nature, especially if you look at Operasi Lalang, right? Operasi Lalang di mana 119 orang kena tangkap under ISA, right? Those people are not are not communist in a way that they can bring the society under threat, but they are just politicians. So he took that opportunity of imbalances in the society in order for him to attack them. And why he was doing that? So people will say, oh, ini jahat, you use the law in order for you to gain certain advantages in terms of your political stand. So why is like that? Because if you really look at how he wants things to be done, he said that before he left, I have failed in my role as to change the society. The role of the change of the society, which he is known as the Bapa Pembangunan, right? Will always be will be there, because he sees things that if you interfere with my role is to change the society, and you are going to bring back the society a few years from the project that we wanted the society to be in. uh, we are heading towards development, and development is something that we have to have. If we are not developed, we are going to be controlled by superior powers. Superior powers, they obviously would like not, macam kita main game lah, you makin pernah tak you all main strategy game? If you play strategy game, then you know what I'm saying. Strategy game is whereby you akan attack orang punya resources rather than you utilize your resources. You punya resources you tak pakai. Okay, you ada emas, you ada perak, you ada pokok, you tak pakai. You akan attack orang, ambil dia orang punya land, and then utilize the raw materials there in order for you to enhance yourself. So the same thing with Malaysia. We have to be developed. Otherwise, we are going to be subjected to control by the society. Like what Indonesia has gone through, Vietnam. Vietnam now is under influence by China, very big influences by China. China is playing its its role as a superpower in the world. So dia pergi merata dalam dunia, dia pergi Afrika, dia pergi India, Sri Lanka, so even pergi ke Kamboja, Kamboja, apa ni, Myanmar, ya. So they are, why I'm saying this, takut lagi ada yang terlepas, ya. The Naim is asking why the role of the judges is not to the extent that they are able to show the right path. Okay, even the right path pun banyak definition that they can have, right? But if you compare and contrast between the executive and the judiciary, the word justice is more towards the judiciary as compared to the executive. But what I'm trying to say about Mahathir is that he wanted to progress our country, and he cannot have progress if orang dok buat kacau. You know, we have resistance. This is compare, you tengok kita punya development as compared to Singapore. Singapore, we started the same. Even they are Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, in Singapore, they are the same. You know, at that point of time where we kick them out. So, but they develop faster than us. Why? Because they don't have opposition. So the same thing what Mahathir knew that he has to have is the opposition, minimize the opposition. So whenever you minimize the opposition, it is up to you to do things that is good or bad. So you either be doing something that is good, which is all open to you, or you can do bad, which is all open to you. So that is, he empowered himself is so great. The empowerment that he have over himself is so great that he can do anything he wants. Kalau you nak tengok, you tengok Petronas Development Act. I just give you an example. Boleh hari ni?
Boleh sir, boleh.
Okay, kalau kita tengok Petronas Development Act, so for example, you see how much power that is being given to the Prime Minister. Okay, this is an act that regulates Petronas. You know how rich Petronas. You look at the empowerment. Sikit dia punya ada 10 section saja. You look at the corporation and the power of the corporation. Section 3. Kita tengok section 3, subsection 2. The corporation shall be subjected to control and direction of the Prime Minister, who may from time to time issue such direction as he may deem fit. Wow, this is so powerful. You are one person, the Prime Minister is controlling the corporation, meaning Petronas. And you are talking about any subsidiary of Petronas. MISC, Petronas Carigali, Petronas Gas, you know, Petronas. You are in control of that. Imagine how powerful is the Prime Minister when it comes to the money of the corporation. So this is what he wants to do in order for him to be able to do things that he wanted as an outcome to the society, to progress, to develop. But instead, the power that he has put to himself, though some say that he might have abused it, you know, making him wealthy. I don't know whether it is true or not, but because of this power that was given to the executive is so great, it is tendency to abuse that happens in Najib punya situation. Okay, because when the Prime Minister is too powerful, that is what happened. Okay, another thing that I just want to share with you, the way I see it. Luckily, the Agung didn't want to give our PM Muhyiddin the rights to declare emergency recently. Right? Kalau declare emergency, I know what is going to happen because he wants to put himself in power to be a dictator. And that happens throughout the world. You know, that happens also for Hitler. Because once he is able to declare emergency, obviously all the powers within the federal constitution is going to be subject to acceptance. So luckily we did not have that situation, because power is something that orang kata lazat, something whether you can do good or bad to the society. So we were hoping that the executive and legislative, they are not in a way wanting to abuse their position, but that is what happening. Okay, so sorry, Naim, boleh Naim jawapan tu? It's not their purview. Okay, only cases yang datang kat dia baru dia boleh comment.
Dia kena ada active role daripada society untuk bawa kes pergi towards the court lah, so that they can settle the issues lah, sir.
Betul.
Thank you, sir.
So kalau kita tengok countries like Switzerland, they all active now, di mana their system of government where the society is active. They can override the legislative. Even though we appoint the people to represent us in parliament, but we can override them by having our census. So we can do census. That is the system of you tengoklah Sweden pula, Switzerland punya legal system, right? Banyak ni statistic and on constitutional litigations and the development of new judicial practices shows that a new judicial assertiveness, and the willingness of the constitutional judges to confront other branches of government. That shows, right? Statistic. If you look at statistic of how judges are to perform their duties, that go into conflict or confront other branches of government is on the rise. Yeah, it is on the increase. Statutes are struck down on the constitutional ground with increasing frequency. Okay, we can see statutes that is being on the basis of unconstitutional basis is being frequently being struck down. For example, kita ambil Tempoh lah, kita ambil Muhammad bin Daud, you know, there are statute, certain section or the whole statute itself being rejected by the court. Manifestation of the judges' newly acquired powers has far-reaching implication for legislatures, administration, and lower courts. Because whenever judges make their decision, it becomes law. Okay, if the legislature doesn't want to do the job, obviously the judges have to do the job for them. So this is considered as far-reaching implication lah. For example, kalau kita tengok tort, in the case of Highland Towers, apa nama Highland Tower, lupa lah, Stephen Poor case, right? And Majlis Pembandaran Ampang Jaya, where Highland Towers yang block, the other two blocks yang tak jatuh tu, okay, they declared it is nak bagi words tu, non-habitational in nature, tak boleh habitat, you cannot go in. So they were arguing that why you do not do things that is supposed to be done in the first place. Tak payah buat bangunan tu. Kalau buat bangunan tu kami dah beli, kami ingat okay, now one of the bangunan dah jatuh, kami yang lagi 2 blok ni nak pergi ambil barang pun tak boleh, nak jual pun tak boleh, kami kena bayar dekat bank. Bank punya installment kena bayar. Rumah dah tak ada, rumah dah kosong, tak boleh jual pun. Barang-barang kami dalam tu, you halang kami daripada naik atas ambil. So where is the justice? So you need the the judge to come in order for them to give judgment. But in that particular case, the court kata the rest of the group memang semua kena responsible, kan? The only thing is excluded is Majlis Pembandaran Ampang Jaya. So because there is a law which is Street and Drainage Act section 13 kot, or 13 or 15. So that says the executive or the administrator if they were to do any negligent act, they are excused. You cannot blame them for the things that for their negligence. So the federal court kata tak nak buat macam mana. That is the provision of the law. However, the court can easily say it is unconstitutional in nature, because how can sub law, we call subordinative law, can override the federal constitution, when federal constitution says that right of property, right of property, whereby a person have to be able to be safeguarded. The law have to safeguard a person with respect of their ownership of property. But being negligent, as the duty of you are being paid, because your gaji datang daripada rakyat. When rakyat pay the tax or cukai pintu or cukai tanah, you are getting the your pay from that pool of money. How can you not do your job? So by right, the federal court should go and punish the majlis. But if they were to do so, they knew if they were to punish the majlis, it opens up the floodgate, meaning all majlis is going to be responsible for the negligence of their staff. And you can always argue this. Some would say, okay, I think they have to be protected. Some would say, no, they should not be protected. Okay, so but this so-called decision that is being made by judges under the bullet number 3 ni has far-reaching implication for legislators, administrators and lower courts. Meaning now dalam Majlis Bandaran Ampang Jaya, because they are able to do whatever they want, in terms of negligence, because you already close the gate. So another case has to go to court and challenge it. Only then the law will change. Okay, but as it is for the time being, as if the law is protecting ataupun the judges are protecting the administrative. So kalau you tengok sini, kalau you kata, dalam T-Tempo ni apa mode yang judges pakai? Is it descriptive ke deskriptif ke apa? Mana dia tadi? Deskriptif, preskriptif, or normatif? Nampak gaya tak sempat kita habis so kita adalah next week sambung untuk our discussion. So kalau dalam kes T-Tempo ni, preskriptif or deskriptif, or is it normative? Show of hands. Apa your opinion? Deskriptif. Kalau T-Tempo, right? Deskriptifnya dia is Vinny good. Descriptive means they are just saying law is law. Okay, law is law. It so happen that Street and Drainage Act is the one that is protecting the administrative, the executive, meaning too bad, right? Kalau dia bagi preskriptif, dia prescribe, dia kata, oh tak boleh, kita nak kena ada rights of the society over their property, and the task of law is to do that, to protect. Tapi in this case, the law is failing and trying to hide behind the provision of legislative, which is lower kalau nak tengok ranking legislative-nya law as compared to federal constitution. So obviously federal constitution will win. Kalau dia ambil preskriptif, memang Stephen Paul menang lah. Okay. Tapi in this case, sebab dia takut kalau if you open up dalam majlis pembandaran is to be responsible for the negligence, so does other institutions, other governmental or executive institution yang ada. Polis, bomba, polis tak buat kerja, bomba tak buat kerja. You open up all these institution. You might say, baguslah pada muka dia orang yang tak buat kerja. But you must remember, whenever they are being punished, the money of that is being paid is people's money, So we cannot allow the police to be totally responsible for everything that happens. Yes, in some cases kalau kita tengok apa kes dalam law of thought, mana Mamat ni, apa nama dia, can't remember, yang dekat Sungai Muar tu, yang dia tangkap orang tu terjun dalam sungai mati. Apa nama kes tu? See, remember? Do you still recall that case? Yang di mana police raid waktu Chinese New Year, and then apa nama kes tu? Lupa dah saya. So, but the thing is, the court says that the police and also the person who died, sebab dia pun contributory negligence, ada contributory negligence. So police bukannya kata semua negligence of the police are not being punished. Yes, but we cannot allow police to be punished for all the things that they are negligently made. So the court will come to protect them. Why? Because if you allow, nobody wants to be police anymore, and then the money that is being spent by the police to pay court cases memang akan banyak, right? So I don't know which one you have to follow lah. Right. Boleh faham tak ni, guys? Kita tak masuk lagi the theory. We are doing some kind of evaluation. Why the role of the judges is so important. Not everyone is happy with this evolution. Yeah, you can see in Muhammad Daud, and in the case of Muhammad Daud, siapa yang tak happy? The government lah. So the government, kalau you tengok case di mana Mahathir punya UMNO baru dengan UMNO lama, you know about that thing? That's incident? Okay, the UMNO was questioned in terms of the whether they follow registrar of society or not, ruling about certain things that they have to do, and the court come in and say they nullify UMNO. When they nullify UMNO is no longer a valid representation or group within the Barisan Nasional. Then the whole thing start to collapse. The government is no longer there. Yeah, it will be only representative of members sahaja, but there's no coalition. Okay, because coalition is based on the party that was promoted. Every party mesti ada dia punya group kan. But once UMNO is considered as invalid, Mahathir dah naik tocang lah. Mahathir dah marah lah. Because you are appointed, not elected. We are elected by millions. But you are just appointed by only one, which is Yang di-Pertuan Agong, under my recommendation. You now go against me, okay? Then you see judicial punya problem that occurs in 1980 ke 1990. Bila judicial punya thing that happened between Tun Saleh, semua kena buang kerja. So the situation happens because not everyone is happy with any evolution that the judges are doing. Okay, they seems to 1988. Thank you, Shamil. So they might be thinking, meaning the judges might be thinking that they are doing good for justice, but there would be some reaction to it, by somebody else, either from the legislative, from the judiciary, from the society, Tun Saleh Abbas dulu kalau kes, kalau you baca kes yang one of the accusation yang orang buat dekat dia, because dia simpan kes. Kalau Tun Saleh Abbas punya decision, kalau you baca dia punya judgement, best gila. Kalau you baca Raja Azlan Shah punya decision, memang dia orang ni memang I salute gila lah, memang dia orang pandai gila lah. And some of the decision, kalau you tengok when it comes to, dia silap sikit lah mungkin, to the extent case berkenaan dengan apostasy, so dia simpan. He should not be doing that. Dia simpan, and then sampai budak tu dah the age of majority, kata okay, the decision is towards from the law, it is the non-Muslim punya decision to take the child and to be on the religion of non-Muslim. So, but since he is already or she is already age of majority, let's ask this particular boy or man, then okay, he's already an adult, to decide whether he wants to stay in Islam or go to that other religion, which is very wrong. Yeah, I mean, who are you to decide whether the person is to be under the specific religion or not? Like ikrah fidin, lantaklah. Allah yang nak tentukan sama ada dia ada di Islam ke tak. So who are you? That, you know, those are the things that can happen. Okay. Ya Allah, banyak lagi. Right. Tak apalah, kita go through this in order for you. Boleh faham tak ni, guys? I duk pergi merata, tangent I tu pergi merata, tak apa ke? Is it okay? Mestilah you jawab okay kan? Takkan you kata tak okay. Alright, I continue lagi satu slide ni sebelum kita masuk the theory. Teori ni tak ada masalah lah. Kalau you tengok Roscoe Pound, Tamanaha, semua ni kita dah familiar ourselves with. Karl Marx, ya. Kalau kita tengok Civic ni, you know, kat sini, ya. So tak ada masalah. Kalau kita tengok yang ni on the perspective of another group, kalau kita tengok on the first group, the what they call it, prescriptive, prescriptive ni. So sorry, kita sini last slide. Okay, social political theories are concerned with causes of judicial behavior. So whatever judicial behavior that you as a judge later on, or you see judges, they are going to have this so-called social political punya impact. And whatever social political theories that they that we have in our society also is the that causes the judicial behavior to happen. So the inclination of the society towards having more open mind over a certain issues, it will be reflected in our judicial behavior. Okay, so kalau lah kata it's more towards liberalism, liberalism or realistic punya way, katalah kita ambil Tamanaha, holistic version, pragmatic punya way. Whatever law that you want to produce, as long as the outcome is good, then why not? So the approach maybe can be seen from the decision making of the judiciary. So theory analyzing judicial lawmaking, look at the content of judicial decision. So meaning the theory is being analysed by virtue of the decision that is being made by the judges lah. Yang banyak-banyak judges, they have done analysis of the decision and then they come up with the theory. So it seeks to explain adjudication in a casual fashion, meaning something that you can make sense of it. Kenapa? It is not about technicality. It is about the outcome. Yeah, as we kalau lagi pakai Tamanaha, that it's all about the realistic of the situation. Let's not be bogged down with theory of morality, theory of historical. We can especially when it comes to custom, when it comes to Islamic perspective, religion. So it is no longer that. It's no longer in theory. Okay, theory of this, theory of that. We go along the line of practicality. So kalau juris tu you perasan, all the while kita belajar semua dia orang ni semua based on realism, based on the practicality of the society today. We are not looking at Austin command theory. We are not looking at Hart primary, secondary. We are not looking at Aquinas, lex injusta, non-extract. Human law must go in line with God law. So that is not realistic. But we are looking at the more realistic perspective. Okay, all sorts of independent variables, meaning yang ni kalau you discuss nanti pening you all. There are dependent and independent variables, meaning for something to happen, there must be something that must happen also at the same time. Kalau dia kata kalau ada awan, mesti the probability of hujan is is on the increase. Kalau lah kata you ada kemarau, maka akan ada variable di mana binatang mati ataupun human kena stroke. So there is a technical in terms of understanding the relationship between the theory and the practicality of the judges when it comes to application of the theory or not apa kata kalau dia pakai teori A or teori B or teori C, it will have this so-called relationship, in terms of linkage to the situation that face in the society. Okay, so let's look at the 11.5. I think boleh kan kita habis ni. Roscoe Pound, kalau kita tengok Roscoe Pound, he is a jurist, right? His interest is towards the society. So dia jatuh under prescriptive, and they prescribe what needs to be done in order for us as judges. You imagine ourselves as judges, in order for us to come up with new law, what the new law has to be is by virtue of us to balance the interest of the community. So as a judge, in order for you to come up with your decision, you must be able to balance the interest of the society or the subjects ataupun the parties that is coming to your court. So you have to balance them lah. Either private punya towards the public, kalau lah case tu berkenaan dengan saya suka pakai yang ni, example serial rapist. Serial rapist, kalau the right of the public dengan private dengan social ada play a very big role. Kalau kat Malaysia, private meaning private rights tu kena being empowered lah. Kan, we have to ensure that the private is being protected from serial rapists. How do we handle that? We have to punish them in a way that it is greater than what normal rapist. Kalau normal rapist, dia rape saja sekali. Tapi kalau normal rapist ni, kalau dia dah buat sekali kesalahan, dia akan buat lagi. Sebab dia dah seronok. Suka tengok orang tu menjerit. You have the dominance. Ni macam the feminist punya point of view lah. Because you like to subject the woman under you. You want to be more stronger. You ada mental problem. Orang rapist ni ada mental problem. So in this particular situation, kalau Roscoe Pound tengok benda tu, dia akan kena punish lah, because dia have to do the balancing, because orang yang rape ni dia akan rape lagi, orang yang bunuh akan bunuh lagi. Memang dia seronok, dia suka. Dekat Amerika, we have this castration. Okay, kalau kita tengok kat law, castration law, chemical castration, dia orang potong the apa orang kata sex offender. Okay, so there's two castration for sexual so for sexual offenders, repeat sexual offenders, dia orang kena castrate. Castrate meaning buang telur lah. So telur tu tak ada, therefore telur yang buat bagi kita the urge to have sex. So there is no urge for you to have sex anymore. When it comes to either you makan ubat or dia akan buat physical, cutting off your the balls of the rapist. So jadi tak adalah eagerness of that person to commit that crime. So you have to do balancing lah. Kalau you kata as a judge, you have to do balancing by virtue of the severity of the problem. Kalau dah benda tu semakin teruk, you have to come in very strong. Tapi kalau Tamanaha, as long as the law or decision that you make is going to benefit the society in various manners or in a holistic manner, why not? Okay, this particular kata rape tadi kan, serial rapist, you are to attack that particular person in a way that you want to be able to stop him from doing it. But stopping a person from doing serial rapist is one thing, but how do you change the society in terms of not becoming serial rapist or rapist in the manner? So you kena pakai maybe apa, feminist punya approach, you know, maybe postmodern to remove the gender altogether, because that is the one that apa, ataupun you pakai radical punya approach, as long as nampak tak combination of Taman dengan feminis sekali. Sebab Taman Naha kata holistic, you can do whatever you want as long as it will be able to have some kind of social benefit, cultural, economic, political, ecological, technological factors. All these things will be contributing to the decision that you are going to make. Okay, boleh tak? Nampak tak? You pakai apa-apalah. Yeah. So legal pluralism is everywhere in terms of what Gustav is saying. Legal transplantation ataupun Taman Naha juga kata you cannot transplant a law to someone yang memang law dia tak suka nak pakai law tadi. Yeah. So he has done his study to the people of certain islands in the Pacific over the implementation of US law towards their country. Tak boleh, you tak boleh paksa orang untuk telan law orang lain. Yeah. The same thing kalau you tengok dalam history Napoleon Bonaparte when he conquered not only France, he went into Belgium, into German. So he tries to implement that type of itu you boleh balik kepada yang discussion yang kita buat lah dalam Scandinavian punya juris. So it's all about combination of all this. Yeah, not only kita boleh identify the judge, oh dia pegang this thing. No, you have to understand in a kalau ikut Taman Naha in a holistic manner. You can utilize whatever you need to do in order for you to come up with your decision. Kalau you pakai Kamax, you akan letak the conflict of disorder in terms of the division that happens in our society. Contoh sekarang kalau zaman MCO ni, ramai orang complain, where is the demarcation of time? When it comes to work, dulu pukul 8 sampai pukul 5. After work, after 5 o'clock, when I used to work with Ericsson telecommunication 20 years ago, bila 5 o'clock, I was asked not to stay back. The policy is if you stay back, meaning you are not doing job properly or you are not effective in your job. That is the policy that they have when it comes to situation. As compared to dulu I kerja bank, kerja sampai pukul 10, 11 malam baru balik. You know, those who see the division, class division of the manipulation of society over the other party. So kalau lah kata kes tu sampai kat court with regards to tak ada lagi lah kes yang pergi ke mahkamah, tapi pergi ke industrial court dah ada, because WhatsApp, you cannot remove yourself from the WhatsApp. Kalau you remove yourself from the WhatsApp, the employer can terminate your employment. Kita apa pula ni, my wife kata okey lah tu. Saya kata tak boleh, because where is the demarcation of time? Because kita ni hidup dalam Kamax, kita ni dah memang dah kena jadi macam apa orang kata, hamba. You kalau you tengok 24 jam bahagi 3, 8 jam lah, 8 16 okey, 8 16 24. 8 jam untuk tidur, 8 jam untuk kerja, 8 jam untuk your own. You know, 8 jam untuk your own tu, untuk what you want to do, 8 jam tu pun tak boleh, because at least 2 hours is taken up nak pergi kerja, nak prepare yourself to pergi kerja. You don't have your own time. Now, what happen dalam MCO ni, pukul 12 malam pun bos boleh text you. You know, where is the demarcation of time? So kalau Kamax, dia memang, kalau you as a person, as a judge under Kamax punya, you kata, hey, this is something wrong. Yeah? How can you utilize your position to an extent that you ignore certain rights of the person? Okay, you can combine with natural punya approach and also Karl Marx. It is an oppressive It is where this so-called abuse of position by the employers towards the employees. So you boleh nampak the bourgeoisie dengan proletariat, the 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 game that was being played in our society. So jadi situ kalau you are the judge, obviously you will have this approach of prescriptive lah. You prescribe because you identify, you analyze. Okay, you buat kerja banyak lah. Kalau you are a judge that is on the prescriptive, you are going to do a lot of job. Okay, and especially for those people yang towards the upper courts lah, because dia orang tak banyak case. Dan bila dia ada case, di mana dia boleh spend time to criticize, to analyze the problem. Tapi kalau court kat bawah, dia towards bawah ni dia descriptive saja. Now we are entering into descriptive. Tadi yang atas tu is more on prescriptive. So kita law by virtue kita. I kena bypass sikit lah. Okay. Ataupun kita stop kat sini je. I rasa non-stop kesian kat you all. Pening pula. Tapi the first one dah establish prescriptive. Meaning prescriptive by virtue of Roscoe Pound, prescribe kan macam mana Tamanaha, then we have civic need, prescribe. Kita kena ada law that represent the need of the society. And then we have Karl Marx, So I think I have to stop now. Bukan kerana I nak stop the lecture, I just want to open up for discussion. Any questions that you want to ask? Ni powerful lah, kan? Under Petronas Act ni, very powerful. Castration, kat US ada castration patutnya Islam yang buat. Ya. Potong aja yang telur dia orang yang gila seks. Pergi gila-gila seks gila lah, tapi you are acting by virtue of meals kan. John Stuart Mill kata harm principle, you pergi kacau orang apa, tambah pula serial rapist. Kalau kita pakai Islamic law, kenapa you nak kena do that to others when they might be your wife, your mother? Do you like people to rape your wife, your mother, or your sisters? You don't want that, right? So itu from the Islamic perspective. So it is all the combination. Castration is a law in US. Kita tak ada kita serial rapist biar je. Kita bahaya tu sangat. Okay, question before we end the discussion. Ada question? Syamil, Naim, selalu the contributor Whitney, pokok ada. Claudia tak pernah tanya, sayang. Mana yang lain? Sayang tak mau tanya. There are many of you yang tanya, which is I'm thankful to spur up the discussion or the understanding. Yeah, any question? Kalau tak ada, we end the session. No question. Syamil tak ada question. Terlampau tepu lah. Naim ada apa-apa tak?
No questions.
Okay, right. So is kalau dia orang hardcore tak ada soalan, I think there is none from the rest lah. So thank you guys for coming to class. InsyaAllah recording I will put it up and for you to go through. Alright. Assalamualaikum. Digesting some. Tak apa, good. You dengar balik, perhaps kalau you tak tahan dengan ini cakap-cakap ni banyak sangat, kadang-kadang pergi sana pergi sini. But we as law, we have to look holistically. Okay, kalau kita tengok fokus on macam kuda pakai blind spot tu, memang susah lah. We can be focused, but we are not going to produce good result. Alright guys, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Take care, sir.
So kita ada lagi satu kelas lah, full lecture next week.
Okay, see you next week, sir.
InsyaAllah. So So every one of us have to you have to leave in order for the session to be properly recorded. Assalamualaikum. Thank you.
Bersalah.
Okay, Syahira, Isma, Imani kena keluar. Otherwise I keluarkan lah.